The Hartley Show is a comic book review program and does not own any of the copyrighted material featured in this episode. All copyrighted material featured will be used as fair use for the purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, and/or research. Taki taki. I'm sitting here about to talk with Aaron Harrison, all-around swell guy, friend of the show, and the guy who built the Deathstroke and Nisa Al Ghul outfits for the fantastic TV show Arrow. Aaron, how you doing, man?
Good. Coffee's in me.
Yeah,
I'll go.
So let's talk about how this whole thing came about. How you got the job for creating the design, or not designing or creating, but putting together the Deathstroke armor.
Helping make it go from Andy Poon's paper to 3D wearable stuff. Funny enough, it started with me calling you a couple weeks before because I was thinking of building a Deathstroke costume. I was like, so tell me more about Deathstroke. And of course, you being you. Yeah, we started talking about that. And then I got a call from Ken Hartley from Arrow. And he's like, so what do you know about making tactical gear? I'm like, well, that's how I learned how to sew. He goes, okay, well, I want you to look up something. I want you to look up Deathstroke, A-R-K. I'm like, you're kidding me. Deathstroke Arkham Asylum, really? Yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, no, I was actually thinking of building this costume. He goes, well, then you're our guy. And then, you know, I looked over that, and I got Andy Poon's design, which looks amazing, and you can find online all over the place. You do a search, Andy Poon Deathstroke, and the picture will come up. And then met up with the team, like Ken and Maya, and we went through different variations. Some of it was like literally cardboard and paper and pieces of tape all stuck together, half his body done up, and, you know, a bad paintball mask painted halfway. And then we had to go back and forth on it. The producers had to look at it. Back and forth, back and forth. What are we going to use for these connectors? Time's getting shorter, but we still have to have it built by this date, which is standard with the costumes. You start from here, as they say, okay, we finally like it, you're now here. The date doesn't change.
Right.
So then it ended up L3. So away we went. Manu Bennett, who plays Deathstroke, he came in the first day, and I had all the armor set out and to make sure nothing's going to fall apart. And some guy stands next to me, and he looks at it, and he's like, so what's that? And I'm like, oh, this is you. He's like, really? Takes out his phone, he's taking pictures of it all. And the helmet was done by White Monkey Studios downtown, Booth Shop, and that went through a couple variations, but it's all like integral. Those pieces come down here in a collar, and that went through changes.
Do you prefer sort of a more emotionless mask? Mm-hmm. You know, although there's that look of the particular armor, which you have a copy of from Arkham Asylum, that has a little bit of emotion. Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah.
This?
I like that look as well, yeah. It's a little sedated. I'm down with that.
Yeah, this is from a guy who has a studio, I believe it's in Malibu. And you can actually get these online. It's an amazing piece. But yeah, exactly what you say. This is that whole kind of thing. Whereas with the new one, they wanted it to look a little more, and I mean, that's the hard part about making a costume from a comic book to reality, is there's certain things in comic books that look fantastic, but just would not work in reality.
And they bring you in to repair the outfit as well, yeah?
Yep.
When it gets a little dinged up in stunt fights and stuff?
Yeah, exactly, because it's not, you know, the armor will be moved through. I mean, even if you built full tactical gear, it wouldn't be expected to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And as Barry knows, when you do a stunt, it's like, okay, kick this guy in the head. Now, 32 more times, and eventually that starts to get to it. But I mean, it goes through a lot of punishment, and stunt guys like to break things.
I'm wondering to what degree the damage could be done. Like, say, for instance, if there's a scene where you get shot, I would assume they then build the squibs, the little explosive capsules, into the outfit. Yeah. And from that point, would then the idea be to design something with squibs in it just for that use, or would you just apply those squibs to the pre-existing outfit?
I would probably be building extra parts.
Right.
They blow them up, and then those are off to the side as extra parts, because the suit is actually integral in multiple pieces. Because there's the chest piece, the back piece, the arm pieces. Those are like 4 or 5 pieces. Right. The legs, so they can literally, like I say, the legs on some of them have rubber stunt pieces with foam instead of the hard tactical gear. So they just pull that off and reconnect another one. Because there's, God, I think I counted there was like 50 different pieces all together in this outfit.
Now, have you had to do any repairs on the Nisa Al Ghul outfit?
There were some on the day, because there was a big time crunch between Deathstroke and her. Right. So I literally had to do some changes on the spot. Right. And Catherine Law. She's amazing. You'd ask her, is this okay? This okay? She'll, what? Oh yeah, it's fine.
What specific work you did on the Deathstroke armor?
Well, there was a bit of R&D because they wanted to have a look of Kevlar with real Kevlar. The thing is, with Kevlar, it unless it's fiberglass, because that's basically what it's like. It's fiberglass. Unless it's built that way, it just literally falls apart. Like, you can take your finger like that and it's toast. You have to do a new piece. So we had to come up with a way of hardening it so it wouldn't fray, but yet it wouldn't be hard shell pieces. We had, from the chest piece, that came up from a thing where I turned to Ken and I said, look, I like Andy's design. Let's just go with his design and I'll make one up. And I did a couple of trials, and again, a lot of it was trial and error. The carabiners that hold the sides on, we were looking at buckles and then we were thinking with the carabiners, it's easier to pull apart. It's faster. This is really a hybrid of everything I've ever done, because there's tactical gear in it, there's leatherwork in it, there's rebuilding of different pieces, sourcing out where you're going to find all these things. There's a great team of people who work in the props department. There's Santino.
Love Santino.
Santino is awesome. Yeah, you've got Jim, who's kind of like one of the go-to guys, and then David, who he's the source guy who goes out and finds everything. So many times he'll come up to me with boxes of stuff, and he has driven all over the lower mainland, sources stuff out. He took a week off one time, and I swear everything was going to fall apart. He is like, he's awesome for that. And yeah, so it's not just me building a suit. I'm putting the thing together, and there's also two people who have assisted me, Brooke West and Sean Connolly, who did a lot.
Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke. And if I couldn't have done it without them. And I couldn't have done it without Ken and his team, and Maya making sure that, you know, the outfit that goes underneath, because there's pants and boots and a jacket that goes underneath. So it's a group, there's a large group of people going into making that thing happen. Richard Wozniak of Dark Horse Armory, he saved me a pinch when I needed to actually get some extra pieces sewn. He came through for me.
This new version, when you originally looked at the design for it, was there that navy blue in there? Was there already
the blue,
those
there was the orange, there was, and the horse vest that's underneath.
Right.
They wanted to keep that from the original Deathstroke. And, I mean, with all the padding now on it, they were trying to, like, again, they're trying to make from a reality comic book, but they also had to do their own version, because you've, you know, got the cartoons, you got, what, 3 different video games with them in it. They had to make their own version, or else it's, you know, you're just copying something, and they wanted to make it their own. So, and they did.
The original look with big, bright buccaneer orange boots and yellow undies on the outside.
And a rapier.
The light blue scale mail.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really work so well in reality. As much as I love that look, in reality, if I saw that guy, I wouldn't feel terribly intimidated.
No.
So your past history in the world of designing outfits?
Goes back quite a bit. I mean, I think it goes back as far as that terrible show Nightman.
Nightman, that was awful.
I did.
They filmed that in town?
Yeah, I did.
It was a horrible, horrible show. They completely missed the entire point of the character.
Yeah, Mantis, I think it was called too. There was that one. I built stuff.
Oh, Mantis, they filmed it down too?
I think so, yeah. And I built some stuff in a shop I worked in. They kept on buying it. First Wave, which bought a lot of bondage gear. I remember when the sale happened, a friend of mine told me there was a garbage bag worth of bondage gear. I was wondering exactly where they're going with the show. Stargate, I helped build the Anubis Jaffa, the big giant black stormtrooper looking guy. Underworld, too, did a lot of armor work for that.
Anything planned in the future right now you're all excited about?
Well, I am excited for Fan Expo, because of course I've got my own version of Deathstroke, because there's some things they did that I was kind of like, I'd like to try it this way. And I have stuff coming up for Arrow, which of course I can't talk about. There's stuff I'm doing for Continuum, and I mean, Arrow plans on keeping me busy, so.
What comics have you read that you're into?
Oh man, I used to work in a store like this, so I mean, my geekery is probably far further than comic books, like movies, TV series. You know, most of the sci-fi TV series out there, Game of Thrones, Arrow, because I was a fan of the show before I actually started doing stuff for it. Saw this guy on it a couple of times.
The mechanic.
Well, you know, Barry isn't on a show unless he's getting somehow beat up, tased, shot, stabbed, burned. It's just, there's a list you could go through.
True.
Yeah, it's actually one of my small goals in life is to some point in a show hurt Barry on camera, because everybody else has. I feel left out.
Of course, Aaron, thanks so much for your time. Can't wait to have you back on the show. And I should mention that Aaron has a Facebook page you can go check out. It's called...
Harrison Arts, 2 words. Find past work productions I worked on, stuff I built, and contact me through there.
Thanks again for your time. Ciao!